but we put that aside for another time. I'll reply to the, I think it was an email or something you received about England not being able to support the colonies. What you've got to realize from long before that, the colonies provided England with millions and millions of pounds in money, especially Jamaica. Especially Jamaica, as the West Indies colonies are concerned. I won't go into all led up to, suffice it to say, we owe Jamaica for the abolition of slavery. It came about mainly as early as it did because of Jamaican slaves sacrificing their lives. In a period of 1 year or so, the British government in Jamaica had executed over 1,300 Jamaicans. I think it was over a year and two, between a year and a half or so, from 1831 December. That's a lot of people, Jamaican slaves. Some were whipped to death, executed, shot, hung, and so forth. And up until the Second World War, and during the Second World War, a big portion of Jamaica was swapped to the United States as part of the Lend-Lease program. So the United States would provide Great Britain with warships, destroyers, and so forth. And we all know about a famous input there. Trinidad, an oil-rich colony it was utilized for their oil. And Caymanian men who weigh over 300 were sent there. I have no idea how much money they were paid. Yes, they were paid a little bit. You know, I've never asked many of them exactly what they were paid. I know so many of them. Most have passed away now. And they went there and served and put their life on the line, as we all know. And because of that, so that England was making money. That's why you have colonies. It's not so much, I want to educate these poor people and all that. No. It was all about making money from them and control, strategic positions. Kingston Harbour in Jamaica is one of the best harbors in the world. And they were utilized a lot for that. And many British parliamentarians owned huge plantations in Jamaica, and they were making millions of pounds out of it. That's a fact. I'm not telling you things that I've heard about. It's things that I know. And the civil service in Jamaica during the 40s and so forth, the top echelons there were all British people mostly in it. So you see, it's not a matter of supporting anything or failing to support after that. Yes, England was severely hit by a war. Most of that they didn't cause, but they went in to try to help the people. And of course, if the United States hadn't stepped in, it would be a very different story. Very different. That includes the Pacific War with China there and all that, but being run through by Japan. But we have to understand and realize that it was not just a simple matter of the colonies dependent on England and so forth. Not so at all. England was dependent on the money they made from those colonies. Also, money that they made from those colonies. Also, we don't get that much financial help from England, if any at all, right here in Cayman. And we know that many years. That's why I say we shouldn't be so dependent on charity at all, the amount of money here. I don't think so. Others may think I'm talking rubbish, but I don't think we should be so heavily dependent on charity. I think that's a compromise. Have a wonderful day. I listen on.
Thank you too, sir, for sharing. And perhaps his last comment about that seeming dependence on charity from that perspective of, organizations, NGOs and the like coming online to try to fill some of the growing needs in our community. What is it doing to our society? Or is it, as some have shared, there's a need and those with a loving, kind heart and hand decide to step in and fill a gap? Let's pause and take a break. Our headline news is just right ahead. When we come back, more talk today.
Satisfaction is guaranteed 24 hours a day, whether it's music or information.
Grand Cayman to Cayman Brac to Little Cayman. We've got you covered.
You ever hear a thing like that?
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman. Headline. Radio Cayman's newsroom. These are the biggest stories right now.
OFREG issues a statement confirming the 2018 funding from the Cayman Islands government is now in place for the fuel sector. The news comes after $1 million shortfall, which the regulator attributes to a lack of startup funds that weren't received from government in 2017. OFREG says it plans to be completely self-sufficient through the charging of regulatory fees as required by law to the sectors by the end of 2018, eliminating the need for the sale of outputs of the Cayman Islands government to cover its operating costs. Good afternoon once again. I'm Dion Anglin with your headlines. In news elsewhere, 12-time Olympic medalist Ryan Lochte has been given a 14-month ban for a doping violation. The 33-year-old American has been sanctioned by the U.S. Anti-Doping Agency for an intravenous infusion. While Lochte was not using a banned substance, athletes cannot usually receive IVs unless related to a hospitalization or via an exemption. Lochte posted a photo of himself on social media receiving the IV, which prompted an investigation. The Syrian government has condemned the evacuation over the weekend of the White Helmets Civil Defense Group from a war zone in the south of the country. Damascus described the move carried out by Israel as a criminal operation by Israel and its tools. Some 422 volunteers and family members were taken to Jordan via the Israeli-occupied Golan Heights. And an Uber and Lyft driver who broadcasts videos of his passengers online has been suspended from both car-sharing services. Jason Gargic live-streamed passengers' journey on video-sharing site Twitch, where viewers would comment on their behavior and appearance. The local newspaper there, St. Louis Post-Dispatch, said passengers were seen kissing, vomiting, and gossiping about relatives and work colleagues. His Twitch channel has been suspended. That's a wrap of your headlines. I'm Dion Anglin.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
What's happening in your community? News and information, music and more. You can find us. www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Radio Cayman is your choice, your voice for today's biggest news. Radio Cayman.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. 949-8037 or 1-800-534-8255. You can indeed WhatsApp your thoughts to us if you so choose, 925-3261, or you can send us your comment on our email, talktoday@candw.ky. It is summer, and with it, there's much. And unfortunately, as I was just reading a number of comments that were sent through, try to get to them during the break. It was challenging because I think a lot of these are expressing concern about the crime that is seemingly on an annual basis every summer. Some of these, as I sort of put the comments into some category, seem to indicate, well, is it the idleness? Students are out for the summer, nothing to do. They're just being, in their minds, out being pranksters and, foolhardy. Others are saying, well, no, what are we looking at? Are we, by pointing fingers, ignoring our own? Some are suggesting that is there a correlation between the summer and increase in crime and people coming across? But 5 comments in particular, I think I counted them twice to make sure I didn't miss, but 5 of the comments that came through are sharing that it is 2 things that need to be addressed to sort of resolve this issue. Not just to ensure that we maintain the safety that we supposedly champion, not just for those who visit it, but for those who live here. And that is, 1, as a community, we need to be more vigilant, more involved, and be, as I interpret what was being shared by one of the comments, mindful of each other, being willing to lend a helping hand. And 2, it's not just a stronger police presence in the sense that they're visible with the proper resources, if they're on the beach, are they able to quickly move up and down the beaches? But they're there, physically present. One individual in that comment is saying, well, the police must be able to be visible and be known and be willing to act, decisively. This commenter, as I read it through, sharing that sometimes you have to question to what extent the police are actually on duty when they are on duty. Seems that as I read these 5 comments in conjunction with the others, people are frustrated, maybe the word that would come to mind, and that we're getting everything wrong. It seems to be that the country is, as this one shared, in this spiral, and we're just going down and down and down. This person writes, it is unthinkable, almost unfathomable that a community this small can't get a handle on simple things, from road works and congestion to petty crime and the like, to, as this one shares, to the issue of resolving conflicts in a civilized manner. This other comment says, Cayman has seen a very robust year. Shares that in his business they've had a significant turnover. By that I mean, I presume they mean the sales volume has increased. Says we might even turn a healthy profit this year. Unfortunately, they've had more challenges with respect to security and pilferage. So is that from employees or from customers? I don't know. The person hasn't shared. But the inference being there, more business to go around, more customers to serve, but again, increased costs, not because of having to hire more staff, but because, as the person shares, theft, whether from staff or customers, or staff in conjunction with customers, or customers in conjunction with staff. As I read these comments, those 5 struck me, and I thought, rather intriguing. I wonder what it's like for the other businesses and the other homeowners and the wider communities. Let's hear from you. 949-8037 or 1-800-534-8255. Or you can WhatsApp 925-3261. Share with us your thoughts and the like. Now, a couple of the comments that have come through is asking about, when will the country look at securing its borders more, and how would that affect? This one says, we've heard often about the fingerprint system. I can't read exactly how it's said here, but questions, will that be something that we're going to put in place? Will it not only decrease the criminal element coming, but would it deter? 949-8037 or toll free at 1-800-534-8255, or you can WhatsApp 925-3261. A couple of other sentiments here expressed by some of these individuals in relation to crime in particular suggest that if we're concerned about crime now, and we're doing little or very little to sort of reduce or address the causes, what is going to happen in years to come when more and more people are entering the workforce and more people are now physically present? This comment here shares that as Cayman grows, as its population expands, as development continues, if the country does not seem to employ a sufficient growth management strategy, how can we expect the people to prosper? There's growing conflict in the workplaces, and then if the email allows me to just quickly paraphrase, it references the articles in the court recently with the worker with the hammer, with the fights amongst employees and the like. This one says, is this because employees are frustrated? Are they being treated unfairly? Are they responding to other threats of bullying and the like? Or is it that they lack the skill sets to properly resolve issues? Have we gotten to a point where workers no longer seem to understand that they go to work, do a job, and they get paid to add value, not conflict within the workplace? Are we going to wait until we see someone, quote unquote, goes postal before we address the issues. What are the issues that are affecting our workers in our workplace? The particular writer gives a couple of other scenarios that may be a bit unfortunate to share, but I think it's important that this writer has an audience and understanding the context that I read through, and now we read what was sent. The concerns being expressed by this particular comment, and that in the workplaces, many employees are feeling increasingly more and more challenged to just do their work. They are being sort of embattled with many things. And I wonder to what extent that is an issue in our society. Could that be leading to some of the stress that our workers are feeling? As a result, is that causing the breakdown in our families, the increased, reports of abuse that we're hearing about? As this comment shares with us, we seem to be ignoring, so many of the signs, unwilling or unable to connect the dots and to understand that is the growing pressures and stress that our society is feeling that is leading to this sort of downward spiral. Anyway, I appreciate a person taking an extended time to pen as much as they did, and although some of it, as they shared, was just sort of written for me to read, I think it was important to share some of it with our listeners. Now, what about you? You're in your workplace. Do you feel a sense of job security? Are you in a job where you're only there because you don't have an option in your mind? There's nothing else that's available. You're not there to be in it longer than you have to be. 949-837 or 1-800-534-8255. Let's share this other WhatsApp with you. It says, disorder and unlawful behavior in our small islands are both unacceptable and must be crushed. It is proved that crime and tourism do not mix. Those quote-unquote boys who are illegally riding those dirt bikes and with their faces covered should be arrested and quickly convicted and committed to hard labor. Work gangs to clean up our streets, perhaps. Well, when people start to understand that there is a cause and effect, and when we as a society, as this commenter just shared, recognize the problems and ignore it, then maybe that gives people a license to do what they do because they don't fear any consequence. As that emailer shared, I'm drawn to a comment that someone shared with us recently. It seems that the person said, even though the police have been making an attempt to address unlicensed vehicles, how many times have you seen vehicles on the roads with no license plates or with a missing license plate, or the vehicle looks and sounds like it may potentially fail an inspection test, and yet when it's being driven and there are police cars and police officers on the side of the road or passing it, and they ignore or somehow don't see, then what message is that? We hear about the broken windows. Well, as that emailer just shared that comment, that reminded me of what that individual has shared. Are we in fact at risk of a continued downward spiral in our society because we're not addressing some of these fundamental issues? As simple as they may seem now, perhaps they can escalate into bigger things, and together when they're play out, it makes our society feels less safe, or people feel more vulnerable, and as a consequence they may act in a way that isn't necessarily the most constructive. Well, share with us, what is your view? 949-8037 or toll free with the compliments of Flo at 1-800-534-8255. It is a final break. Got a couple of things that to read. Let's see if that is for public consumption or just my edification. But either way, hearing from you directly on a Monday sets the tone for the week, so give us a shout. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
The time is now. The speed is here. March to the beat of the mobile revolution with Flow 4G LTE and a prepaid mobile combo plan. Activate a Flow prepaid mobile combo plan to get calling minutes and data in one convenient package. And every plan comes with double data. Enjoy the proven best overall experience in Cayman with a Flow prepaid mobile combo plan. Now with double data, coverage, value, speed. Flow 4G LTE. Always connected, always faster. Visit discoverflow.ky. Terms and conditions apply.
Congratulations, it's a boy.
During the greatest events of your life, whether or not you have the right health insurance coverage should be the last thing on your mind. That's why at Fidelity Health, we are committed to helping you get matched with the right plan to suit you and your family. We offer a range of plans to suit your budget, plus access to a network of quality care throughout the Caribbean and the USA. You can relax and enjoy life's greatest moments when you are covered with Fidelity Health. Call us today at 949-7822 for a free quote.
Radio Cayman, your number one community station, would like to remind you that we are in the hurricane season, and in order to survive a hurricane, you need to be prepared. If officials' sources say a hurricane is imminent, please board up or shutter up windows in your home or place of business. Remember to use good lumber, as makeshift boarding may actually cause more damage. Also put strong bracing on outside doors so that they are not blown off or blown in.
This hurricane advice was brought to you by Radio Cayman, your caring community radio station.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. 949-8037 or toll free at 1-800-534-8255. Or you can WhatsApp 925-3261. You can also email talktoday@candw.ky and share your thoughts with us as you choose. Appreciate a couple of sentiments that came through. The one I was just reading earlier during the break. The caller, or the listener, I guess would be, sent through a thought about crime and suggested that it's a simple solution. It may not, the person says, it may not be easily implemented. Many parents in particular would object, but it starts from early, and it suggests that there are three fundamental approaches to resolving this issue. Idea of ownership and opportunity within the community. Says first, children need to understand that they have a future, that what they do now affects them later and the society. It give them hope, it give them a sense of pride, it give them a reason, and it'll be simple. The child will then become a more meaningful part of community. 2, involvement. It says involve the children. Community service, service the country. It goes on, and this is a little bit longer, but it says, our children don't see the idea of service as being that means by which they're connected. They see it as a way to gain something, as an award, a recognition. They do it because school requires it, or their group wants to get the publicity. But it says service needs to be truly above self. And then it says, to borrow a motto from our club, that says, the youth of today do not feel a sense of being connected to the country and understand. But it goes on to say that this service needs to be more than just picking up garbage or cleaning up. In other way, it needs to be service to the country. Give them a set of instruction, discipline, and develop in them an acumen that they must be able to contribute to the country. It's a bit lengthy, but as I look at the email during the break, it suggests that we already have mechanisms in place where the country, through the CERT teams and the like, people can go in. It says that during hurricane seasons, we're looking for shelter wardens. These same people, these youth with these skill sets, can easily fit into those roles. But it also says that through this level of service and development, they would be able to get skill sets to become police officers and prison guards, that they will be able to serve in other areas. And it suggests that we borrow a national service program, implement it in a means, call it what you want. This emailer writes and suggests that through that the youth gets a skill set in CPR, in disaster management, in how to work in teams, how to respond to certain things. And then the third component, this person writes, is just simpler. Provide not just the incentive, but make it mandatory. So you understand the importance of it and make it mandatory. This says that every individual, up until age 18, perhaps start early, but from 14 to 18, so for a 4-year stint, they serve closer to get 18 to more intense. For those who either, it says, does not intend to pursue further studies after 18, assuming that's the graduation, that they have to continue for 3 more years. In there, they can get further training. For those who want to make this part of their career, then they can continue on as well. They become the instructors, the trainers, they become the facilitators, as it were. For those who, after 18, enter into the workplace or go off to further studies, whatever format, they still have to, ever so often, spend some time. It puts in brackets, similar to a National Guard or the like. Now, quite an extended comment that the person shared. Certainly appreciate, taking time to send it through. I would imagine it's probably been shared with others as well. If it hasn't, perhaps someone can pick it up, if not the individual, and share it along with the politicians and the like. Now, as this individual is, putting forward, the idea is that we need to become more invested in our communities. And I would ask that, this individual, if it is feasible, certainly forward it along to, whether it's the ministry responsible for community development, whether it's some other entity, whether it's the Premier directly, or other. Because the 3 areas seem to be perhaps even more involved than maybe what I've just shared with you. 949-8037 or 1-800-534-8255. And I appreciate this person just sending back a quick comment saying thanks for reading. Hey, listen, if you share something with us that you think we should share, if you share it in a way that you want us to share, we will, if we can. If you present it in a way and you give us license as this person did, I think those 3 points were key. Don't believe it should offend anybody. It may not even be as great as I think they are, but you might even be able to listen to it and find it and make it better. I especially like the last point where the individual says, 14 to 18 year olds, take those individuals certainly from earlier with their training, but develop them and put them into a system where they're exposed to proper structure and discipline. They're very useful. You take a 14-year-old with the mindset that person has to be a valuable contributor to society, irrespective of the physical size and strength of that 14-year-old, whether it's a male student or a female. You know how much hope and excitement, enthusiasm, and contribution that person could make when that person becomes 18 or 24 or 44. How much more so that person will be able to do? Well, when you think of other countries where people, can get involved and be, part of their national service, whether they're 30 or they're 50, they can still be a very, very valuable contributor. So I thought that was encouraging. And it doesn't marginalize anyone. It doesn't label anyone. It doesn't say that, you're doing this because you can't do that. We all have to do it. We all become, equal in that sense. We all develop a sense of national pride. We all build a sense of unity, and because there's a shared goal. yeah, I thought that was in itself worth a comment. So thank you for sharing that. Well, maybe you don't see, the comment as such. Maybe you can add something else to it. Go right ahead. 949-8037 or 1-800-534-8255 or toll free, or you can WhatsApp 925-3261, or you can call us straight 949-8037. Either way, share your thoughts with us so that we can have an opportunity to hear your perspective. And of course, if you prefer and you want to do as some have, well, you can email talktoday@candw.ky, or you can send your thoughts in that manner that you have in the past so that we can share with our listeners if that's your choice. Voice notes are always available to you if that's something you want to as well. So, or WhatsApp 925-3261. It's Monday, and as I look at the calendar, you recognize that it's almost the end of July already. Summer is in, on what is my friend said, in full steam, and he meant that in every sense of the word. He thought that hopefully as the days sort of get longer, he'll be able to find more time, whether in the mornings before work or in the evenings after, to get out in the yard, to go in the parks and on the beaches. But he's found that it's been incredibly, busy last 12 months or so, and that may be, what it's like for most of us. We don't seem to be able to find any great time. Well, as we invite you to be a part of our discussion tomorrow, we're going to have a chance to speak to our good friends from the RCIPS, have them on board, share some tips, speak to some of the issues that you've seen in the media challenging our society, from the thefts of the motor vehicles and the like, to that what seems to be almost an annual thing that happens every time this year, and what can we do about it? With the greatest of respect, do we want or expect that the police will be able to do everything and anything? What role can we play? How can we help? How can we be more vigilant? How can we be more cooperative? If it's a case, for argument's sake, that we're not sure that our children are being properly supervised, maybe we don't have that extra few dollars to put them into account. Maybe we don't, have not just the lack of funds, but we're not sure what's available. Maybe what's available is already filled and there's no space. Maybe it's not any of that, but is there a way that we can do it? Now, it may not be our own, but if it is, are we going to be willing to address it? Hey, sometimes some people don't always want to face the music and hear the truth, because it somehow is seen as being a negative reflection on them. But the question to be asked, if we ignore it, does that mean that it doesn't exist? Not quite sure. Come back tomorrow for more Talk Today, right after the midday news and midday meditation. The Business Buzz is on in the morning, right, Miss Susan? So, obviously, we invite you to be a part of that. All the programming here at Radio Cayman is for you. It's, because of you, and we want to include and involve you as much as we can. So, any particular request that you may have for this afternoon, well, if Susan can play it, you request it. If it's not her, Joel or Paul or one of those, DJ Lynn is in the house as well. And man, what a great team they make. The best on-air talent that we have here. And after the news in the evening, when we get, sort of like that evening time, boy, the Iceman joins us, right, Miss Susan? I tell you what, I always enjoy listening to his music. I don't know, it's almost as if he creates a theme of some sort as he melds the song. So truly incredible on-air talent here at Radio Cayman. Glad to be a part of this group. Each day I learn something new. Hey, tomorrow is another day. My prayer is that we'll be a part of it. Let's see what we can do for the rest of this day to make it productive and constructive. If we can embrace some of the things, let's pray that we can at least endure it. This too shall pass, they say. Until tomorrow, be blessed.
shaken yet standing firm. This is Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.